Boom, we're on, we're back. I know it's been a while. As you can see, I've changed jobs. Now, obviously, the main thing in the news at the minute is ULEZ because it came into force yesterday. This is going to be a case of my kind of thoughts on it. I've got a thought that no one else seems to have come up with, and it's one for Jeff buys cars because I know he's very anti-ULEZ. Also, the Rev Simon Sideways, my brother from another mother, he put a video up with his thoughts on it, and the question got asked in that, where does the money go that is generated by ULEZ? Well, it's quite simple. It goes into the dark abyss that is TFL, to never be seen again, unless it's to pay Sadiq Khan his 800 grand a year salary. TFL is like the NHS. It is just a black hole money pit. I think it was back in 2015 or 2016, right in the middle of the Brexit vote shit. It was touched on then, but obviously it's not as big a topic as Brexit was, so we kind of got swept under the rug and forgotten about. It's basically, it was on its arse then, and it was about to go bankrupt. So that's why it's been expanded and it's affected a shitload more people. It's to bring in more cash revenue. That's all it is. It is just a Ponzi scheme. It's just designed to rip off the little guy at the bottom, while the people at the top get rich. So yeah, that's the cut and gist of it. They'll tell you it's for air quality in London. It's for global warming, net zero, all the green agenda bullshit that they throw at it. It's for that. Yeah, if they were that concerned about it, why is it only? It's like the Lee Evans sketch about global warming. It's like China's chucking out all this shit. Las Vegas is lit up like the 4th of July every night of the week. But it turns on. If I turn that little red light off on my TV and use this energy saving light bulb that only works after I've gone out the fucking room, turns out it's fucking me that's caused the problem. Bollocks. What about the tube? That's the most polluted air in London, is in the tube stations. What about your buses that when you get stuck behind them chuck out a load of black shit? That never gets mentioned, does it? Because they're basically, and I know this because I used to work for a bus company. I was a bus driver. When they went for MOT, they would get them to a standard where they'd pass the MOT, get through, and then about a week later, they'd all go to shit and black shit would be flying out the back of them again. Because they are on the road 24/7. There is no mechanical sympathy for a bus. So once they're never getting repaired properly because it costs too much money. In the bus companies, it is all about profit. And they probably have a downtime of about 3 hours in a 24-hour cycle. There's no mechanical sympathy for the bus at all. So that's why in the space with about 3 years, the amount of miles they cover, even though they only go around town centre all day every day, the amount of miles a bus will cover in a 3-year life, it'll blow your mind. Well, anyway, it's fucking enough about buses and bullshit. I left that job. But this isn't what's mentioned. The state of the public transport that they use is shit. You've got the trains going in and out of London. Fair enough, majority of passenger trains are electric now. But the electricity that's generated to power one of them is immense. But what about all the freight trains that are still going in and out of London? They're all diesel electric. And you look at the black shit that comes out of them when they're pulling off. Because they're trying to shift like 5,000 tonne in one go. Or whatever it is, I don't know the weight of trains. Well, I know they're not. You wouldn't want one go over your toe anyway, I know that much. But that's not mentioned. You've got London City Airport. You've got Heathrow that has a plane taking off and landing. I think it's like every 30 seconds or every minute. The amount of fuel and pollution that's dropping down off them. Just not mentioned about. You've got the other airfield airport that's just off the A40 as you go over the M25. I don't know what it is. It might even be part of Heathrow. I'm not sure. I don't know. But it's, you go along the A40 and you've got all the little private jets there. All these little airfields and airports around London, inside the M25. The pollution that they create, not mentioned. All the vehicles on the airport, like the fucking fuel trucks, the baggage handle carriers, I don't know if they're electric or if they're fueled, but in all these catering companies, they have the specialist vehicles because the cabs are cutting off to go up to the airplanes and that. They all run on fuel. Are they ULEZ exempt? Well, they probably are because they're probably on the Euro fucking engine shit. But it's shit like that. It's, oh no, that's exempt. This is exempt. All your classic cars, they're exempt, but they can go into London and they don't have to pay congestion charge yet. And it's like that, you go for your MOT. Part of your MOT is your emissions. So if your emissions are under the standard for ULEZ or whatever, but your car's not compliant, how the fuck does that work? It is just a Ponzi scheme. You just got to look at some of the fucking arguments that are thrown out there. So my proposal to deal with that little manlet that is Sadiq Khan is to stick one on his nose and make him water, and make his eyes water, because it will, is to hold like a gumball rally. No, not a transport festival or any of that kind of shit, because they're usually held in fields or car parks where you parked up and the engines are turned off. But you hold like a gumball rally sort of thing. Call it the ULEZ rally 2024, because it'll probably take till next year's set up anyway. And you get anyone that's a fan of like gumball rally, the cannonball one, whatever it is, to turn up. Your car doesn't have to be ULEZ exempt as a criteria to get in. You just, whatever car you've got, just turn up. But if you've got ULEZ exempt cars, the stipulation is if you've got one, you bring one. It doesn't have to be a car. It could be your 2-stroke motorbike, because there's nothing that chucks out smoke like a 2-stroke. We fucking ragged that through the centre of London. Your Mark 1, your Mark 2 Escorts, your Ford Capris, and all your other ULEZ exempt cars, whatever they are, motorbikes, commercial vehicles, traction engines, that's ULEZ exempt, send it. Eddie Hall with his tank, that's ULEZ exempt, send it. Ross Noble's got a self-propelled gun, that's ULEZ exempt, send it. All this shit that'll highly pollute London, just fucking send it because it's exempt. And like I said, you call it the ULEZ gumball rally thing, whatever you want to call it, and you just drive around London all day, because you are not doing what Extinction Rebellion do and the other wank spangles, what are they called? The fucking oil one. Just stop oil. You don't go and super glue yourself to the M25 and hopefully no one wants to be a fucking moving freight train and just splat you everywhere. You don't do that. You do is you just join the already queuing masses that are driving into the centre of London on a Monday morning. Only difference is you're chucking out loads of black smoke at the same time. But you ULEZ exempt, you are perfectly within your rights to go and do it. You don't hold anyone up, you just drive around. And what can they do? You're committing no crime. All you're doing is sticking one on the end of Sadiq Khan's nose, and for the phrase of Alex Balfield, there's nothing you can do about it. Everyone's a winner. Although the very next day, every car or vehicle over a certain age will be banned from London anyway. But it'll still be stinging the next day that we've fucking had one up on him. And this is going to need someone like Jeff Buys Cars to take it and run with it. But I don't see why no one else has come up with this idea yet. All these other protesters do what they want and get away with it, and nothing's, although they are starting to look at prison time now. Why don't we do something similar? But with every vehicle that's ULEZ exempt, that'll chuck out black shit. Fuck it. Whether your car's ULEZ exempt or not, bring it anyway. Just do it as a protest. But you also send fucking anything that is exempt that'll chuck out black shit. And just run with it. See what happens. Anyway, that's my fault. I'll catch you another day, another way. And if I do another video, I'll do another video. If I don't, well, at least you know I'm still alive. Bonjour.